All right, today we're going to start chapter 8, Exponents and Exponential Functions. This chapter is going to work all with exponents, and we're going to take not just exponents that involve numbers, but we're going to start working with exponents that have letters. Yay, algebra! All right, so the first thing we need to do is just to review what exactly an exponent is. So, there are some different parts of an exponent that you need to know. An exponent tells us how many times a number, the base, is used as a factor. A power has two parts, a base and an exponent. All right, so the whole thing we're talking about, for example, x to the third power, is a power. Okay, the base is this x, it's the big number. The exponent is the 3. It's telling you how many times you need to multiply the big number. So for example, we have x times x times x. Same here, we have 5 times 5 times 5. All right, this should all be reviewed for you. Okay, so what we're going to do specifically today is we're going to talk about exponents that involve zero and negative exponents. All right, so there is a very simple rule for exponents with zero. Any power which has an exponent of 0 is always 1. That means that if you have 5 to the 0 power, it equals 1. If you have 5,232 to the power of 0, it is still 1. All right? Pretty self-explanatory. All right? Now to get into the tricky stuff, the negative exponents. All right, if you have a negative exponent, you have x is to the negative 2 second power, all right? It's an unsimplified power. That's what you would call it. All negative exponents must be simplified and become positive exponents. There's a positive position and a negative position in the numerator and the denominator. What on earth does that mean? Well, basically, here's how it goes. So, for example, I have x to the power of negative 2. What I need to do is put that down into my denominator and change my exponent to a positive and put that fraction over 1. All right, so I'll show you how this works again. So let's say I have 3 to the negative third power. All right, all I want to do is put that 3 to the third power into my denominator and put that exponent over 1. And that's your answer. All right, so if you had y to the negative fifth power, let's say over x to the second power. All right, and this will be some stuff that you're going to see when you're working with exponents in this chapter. So this is an unsimplified problem. All right, my x squared can stay on this bottom. That's positive. It's where it should be. All right, that y to the negative 5 power is not where it should be. We need to bring it down so it becomes a positive. So that's going to come down to my denominator, and we're going to put this whole thing over 1 over the whole thing. So our answer becomes 1 over x squared y to the 5th power. All right? All right, so let's practice that. So, totally looks confusing. Don't worry, you'll be fine. I promise. So, each one of these is a crazy complicated looking problem. So we have this crazy looking problem right here, this crazy looking one, and this crazy looking one. All we need to do is take the exponents that are negative and put them in the right spot. So 4 stays the same. B squared stays the same. A to the 5th does not stay the same. That needs to go down here. All right, so now I have 4b squared on top, but then now I have x squared on the bottom. Well, that's fine. Y to the negative 2, that's not fine. We need to lift that up here. Same with this x, or this z to the negative 1 power. That also needs to go up here. All right, and so now we have a simplified fraction. We have 4b squared, y squared, z, all over x squared, a to the 5th power. All right, so you basically want to arrange the powers so there are no negative exponents. Okay, so looking at this crazy one right here, we have a negative 5. Negative 5s can stay the same. You don't put a negative regular number on the bottom. You leave it alone. Okay, m to the 4th, again, leave it alone. 3 to the negative 1 power, uh-oh, that's not okay. We can bring that 3 down to the bottom. N cubed, we're good to go. E, good to go. F to the 7th power, good to go. D to the negative 5 power, nope, you don't want that. So we're going to go up here, bring it up, make it so it looks like a simplified pretty fraction here. And that is our answer. Okay, so what I want you to do is this final one right here. Do it for me. Arrange it. Make it look better. Simplify it. Get rid of those negative exponents. We don't want them. They're bad. All right? Okay, couple more practice problems. So let's take this whole idea of uh, zero exponents and negative exponents. Let's do a couple of these together. Okay, so we know z to the negative 4th power. We need to get that on the bottom. So we're going to go 1 over z to the 4th power. 27 to the 0 power. Well, that's pretty obvious. Any exponent as any number power that has an exponent of 0 equals 1. All right. Last but not least, this one might look scary, but I promise it's not. So we can take this and we can go 2x squared. That can stay the same. All right, but if you look, 4, that can stay the same as well. That m to the negative 4th power, though, we don't want that down there. We have to bring that up to the top. It becomes m to the positive 4th power. And n squared can stay on the bottom. Now we can even take this a step further. I'm sure most of you have noticed that 2 over 4 can be simplified. So we can actually simplify that to 1/2. So then it leaves us with x squared n to the 4th power all over 2 to the n squared. All right, now notice my 1 did not go away over here. It's just invisible like it always is, okay? So there's kind of this invisible 1 right here, but you don't need to write it, okay? All right, so second part of your whisk tonight, I need you to do these 3 problems right here, numbers 4, 5, and 6. Please simplify these. Um, put them in simplest form. Get rid of those negative exponents and get rid of those 0 exponents as well, okay? All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. Please come to class with any questions. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow. Have a good evening.